Well, guys, last night we got some big news. Right before I was actually about to go to bed, we found out that Dan Bongino was named the deputy director of the FBI. So he's going to be working side by side with Kash Patel. President Trump wanted Dan Bongino. Now, when President Trump was actually elected, a lot of people were thinking that Dan Bongino would actually end up being head of the Secret Service, considering, that he was actually a Secret Service officer. I believe that he served on the details of Bill Clinton. Was it Bill Clinton? I think it was Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and Dan Bongino, man, I love his show. Absolutely love his show on Rumble. Unfortunately, the show is coming to an end. Dan Bongino is actually alive right now. He was pretty emotional, man. Very, very emotional. He put his career to the side to serve the nation. Because the Justice Department, man, has been weaponized under the Democrats. That's why Kash Patel actually came in. And we know that the deep state, man, is terrified of Kash Patel. They should be very, very terrified of Dan Bongino, man. Bongino is not a fan of the establishment. He's been calling out all the BS, all the weaponization. They're not going to like this, guys. They are not going to like this. But this is very, very good news, folks, for the nation. The weaponization of the government, of law enforcement, needs to end. And a good thing about Dan Bongino being the deputy director, I found out this: there is no Senate confirmation needed. He's taking a job. Now, I believe Bongino said on his show that there will be a few more episodes or so, and then it's actually going to have to come to an end. Because Dan Bongino needs to get out there and start his job as the deputy director. I'm pretty sure, Bongino is definitely going to miss everybody, man. The Bongino Army, great name for everybody. I mean, Bongino gets millions of views on like every single episode he uploads to Rumble. He actually used to be on YouTube, but then YouTube wanted to censor him and they're about to kick him off. He said, nah, I'm out of here. And he went over there to Rumble and the people followed. They followed. So let's go ahead and get into this, guys. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, support us by becoming a channel member. Memberships just start at $5 per month if you're watching on YouTube. Also, if you're watching on Rumble, click that join button to get access to the same thing and support us on Locals. The member stream is every single Friday. So here we go. Right over here, guys. Trump names Dan Bongino deputy director of the FBI. President Donald Trump on Sunday named Dan Bongino to the deputy director of the FBI under newly confirmed FBI head Kash Patel. Bongino is a veteran of the New York Police Department and the Secret Service. One thing, man, about the left, man, they cannot say that this man is not qualified. They cannot say that this man is not qualified. He is very, very qualified. But I'm pretty sure there's definitely going to be some pushback, man, because Bongino, he's a firecracker, man. He is a firecracker. And this is what President Trump put out on Truth Social. He says here, and let me just go ahead and pull it up over here on X because we got the full picture right here. President Trump says, great news for law enforcement and American justice. Dan Bongino, a man of incredible love and passion for our country, has been named the next deputy director of the FBI by the man who will be the best director, Kash Patel. Dan has a master's degree in psychology from CUNY and an MBA from Penn State. He was a member of the New York Police Department, New York's finest, a highly respected special agent with the United States Secret Service, and is now one of the most successful podcasters in the country, something he is willing and prepared to give up in order to serve. Working with our great new United States Attorney General Pam Bondi and Director Patel, fairness, justice, law, and order will be brought back to America, and quickly. Congratulations, Dan. And Dan Bongino says, thank you, Mr. President, Attorney General Bondi, and Director Patel. And you know what? If you actually been listening to Dan Bongino's show, he definitely knew that something was coming down the pipes. He definitely did know that this was coming right here. Man, I am so happy for Dan Bongino. I'm a huge fan of the show. Very big fan of the show. Unfortunately, it will be coming to an end. Here is some of the reaction here, man, to Dan Bongino. Well, I think people kind of knew because look at this here. Dan Bongino, this is from Colin Rugg, shortly before being appointed Deputy Director of the FBI, talking about Adam Schiff and why he should actually be worried. Let's go ahead and listen into this.
Particularly good mood today. If you only knew. You ever hear that House on Fire song? It's one of his old songs. This guy's on fire, just like the Bailey song. That house on fire. He is on fire, Schiff. Well, 100% success rate of failing. Why is Adam Schiff so worried? Folks, I strongly encourage you to go back and take another look today at the Russia collusion hoax. I know it's a story that's old and a lot of people want to move on. I'm going to be straight with you. I don't want to move on. We had the FBI in conjunction with the Department of Justice, officials in Congress, foreign governments, and intel people fabricate a story, invent a story that could have caused and done serious long-term harm to international relations with a nuclear-powered foe. It's kind of a big freaking deal. I'm not letting it go. And you listen to me. This is going to be very important in the coming days. I'm not letting this go. I want to find out what happened because it can never happen again. Not to a Democrat, not to a Republican, not to a Libertarian, not to any United States citizen. You do not get to alter or try to change the course of electoral politics by fabricating a story, hijacking the justice system then to give the patina of truth to a fake story. You don't get to do that. Why do I bring that up now? Because who is the ringmaster of that circus? Yes, Adam Schiff. And no, I'm not letting it go.
Wow. Dan Bongino, man, the deep state has been put on notice. Put on notice, man. Oh, wait a minute. It's something about Hillary here. This person says, now that President Donald Trump has named Dan Bongino as Deputy Director of the FBI, it seems Hillary Clinton may have a lot to worry about. Is Hillary Clinton's time finally almost up? This is a post here from Dan Bongino back in October of last year. He says, I worked with Hillary Clinton. She was evil. The stories agents around her have kept bottled up inside are horrendous. Working on her detail was generally considered a punishment assignment. You will never meet a more mercenary and destructive public figure in your lifetime. She hates you, all of you. I remember Bongino actually talking about that on one of the episodes of his show. Yeah. Oh, man. This is Bongino here talking about the Mar-a-Lago raid here. Benny Johnson puts out throwback newly appointed Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino going full savage, calling to act every last bit involved in the Mar-a-Lago raid. Wow. Let's go ahead and watch this here. This is a Fox News clip.
Nobody was held accountable.
I was passionate about it for a reason. How many freaking times are we going to let the FBI interfere in an election? I mean, this is supposed to be a constitutional republic. I'm not crazy, right? Like, this is supposed to be a representative democracy. Banana Republic. We're beyond a banana republic. We're into like tin pot dictator third world stuff. This is embarrassing. At least Pravda didn't pretend to be anything but state apparatchiks. The FBI, and listen, I've been with you for a while. I work with a lot of decent guys. I'm done with the rank and file stuff too. I'm done with it. If you took part in this, anyone who took part in this, anyone, I don't care who you are, an analyst or an upper level manager, the next president who comes in office, they should schedule F as many people as they can in the federal government and fire every single person involved in this. Everyone. The receptionist in the FBI office who took a call on this should be fired. We are not a third world republic, supposedly. Sean, the difference between us and Kim Jong-un, right, is that we investigate crimes and then we look for people. We don't investigate people and then look for crimes. That is exactly what's going on. How many times are they going to investigate Donald Trump for how many different things before the American people wake up and realize this isn't an investigation of a crime in search of a person, but a person in search of a crime? And let me just add, one last thing on this, folks. I left my job. So no one's going to lecture me, oh, Dan, what would you do if you just do? There's no more we're just doing our job. You swore an oath to the Constitution. Have some balls, man. I left my job because I couldn't take what was going on. I gave up my pension and everything because something else mattered. You're not going to lecture me on anything. If you were involved in this constitutional abomination to our constitutional republic, you don't deserve your job today. And you will get no backing from me or anybody I know in the conservative movement going forward. You flushed your credibility down the toilet.
There you have it, guys. Dan Bongino right there. Cutesy time is over, to quote the great Dan Bongino. Boy, I cannot wait to see what he's going to do with Kash Patel. It's going to be epic, folks. The deep state will be terrified. They should be terrified. The jig is up with him, man. It is now over. Congratulations, man, to Dan Bongino. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we will catch you next time.